Can you hear me at the front desk? How is everybody today? Happy Labor Day. Almost Labor Day weekend, I guess. Barbecue season. We got a couple more people coming in. Thanks for being here. Larry is taking the day off. He's down at the beach in his happy place. I know that this is the unofficial end of summer, but I'm not acknowledging that because we officially have like 3 more weeks to go. So no pumpkin shit, okay? It's too early for pumpkin shit, okay? It's like I hate it when I go into Acme at Labor Day and they already have scented pine cones, and you're like, really? You know, it's just too early. Do the what? I know. It's just, don't rush it. It's like, as you get older, it goes faster and faster and faster. Don't rush it. Take it, like, be in the moment. That's the yoga, right? Be in the moment, okay? Whatever that moment is today. So what I was going to talk about, I was subbed for Larry a couple of weeks ago, and what I was talking about then was balance and yoga as connection. The yoga means to yoke, so that's a connection. If you think of 2 oxen, connected to one another, and if they are cooperating, they can do more together than they could both apart. And that's what we do here in our yoga. This yoga is a yoga of connection. We come together into this room. We create our Kula, K-U-L-A, our yoga family. And that's where our strength comes. That's where our connection comes. That's what makes this room special to me. Three Queens Yoga. I mean, this is the most beautiful yoga room I've ever been in. Anybody? Yeah, it's a beautiful yoga room. But that's not the only thing that makes it special. I mean, I love the rain on the skylights when it's raining. But that's not what makes it special. What makes it special is us coming together and creating the energy, okay? And the energy of belonging, a space of belonging. Have any of you looked at the Three Queens website? Yeah? The theme of it is really all about belonging, and it's so important. Belonging is a fundamental human need. Did anybody, I'm a professor in my real life. Does anybody remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Yes. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's basically saying after you've had your food and your water and you're safe, the most fundamental need is to belong. And it actually helps us to live longer. The converse of that is if you don't have a feeling of belonging, if you're lonely, it can actually take years off your life. It is stressful. There's one study that showed, for example, that feeling lonely, not feeling that feeling of belonging and connection, is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it's really, really bad for you. So think about that today. We're coming together, we're supporting one another. But the other side of that, I mentioned balance at the beginning. There's balance and connection too. So you don't meet someone and then automatically give them your heart and soul, right? Or maybe you do and it didn't work out so well, okay? So we learn that we have to have balance even in those connections and in that belonging. We have balance, we have boundaries. We need to create boundaries. So maybe think about that in the practice today. What are your boundaries? Maybe you're new coming back to yoga for a while and you say, oh, I want to go to that edge, but I don't want to go over. I don't want to hurt myself. So think about where your boundaries are. Okay, I was going to do some twists today. If you were here last week, Larry shifted from crow to twisted crow. I thought we'd give a chance to do a twisted crow again. But is there anything else anybody wants to do specifically? Shoulder? Shoulder opening. Okay, absolutely. I know you want core too. Always the core. Okay, anything else? Okay, so if you haven't already, take a comfortable seat. can close your eyes or softly soften them, whatever feels appropriate. And start to turn to the breath. Start to pay attention to the life force, the prana, life force. We're always breathing, but we don't usually pay attention to it. It's just innate. We are breathed by our breath, but now we're going to turn our attention to it. So breathe, inhale through the nose, and slowly exhale through the nose. And start to slow down the breath. Notice if your inhale is longer than your exhale or vice versa. And try and match the inhale to the exhale. And drink the breath all the way in, back, and down, all the way to the bottom of your belly. And then slowly exhale. Press down through your sit bones, reach out the crown of the head, get really tall. And then as you inhale, create a lot of space as you drink the breath in, back, and down, filling up your torso, top to bottom, front to back, side to side, creating a lot of space. And then as you exhale, try and retain that space and just soften around it. Notice that your belly expands as you inhale, and then as you exhale, your belly button retreats back to your spine. Belly breathing. On the next inhale, bring your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. Anjali Mudra, the symbol of the lotus. The lotus is the symbol of the heart. So we're bringing our heart in front of our physical heart. And we'll begin practice with the sound of one Om. Feel free to participate or to receive. Big breath in. Om. Softly bow your head to your heart, your head to each other's hearts. Release your hands, blink open your eyes. Okay, I'm gonna be on the mat because I'm on camera, but if you have any questions, feel free to shout them out, modify as necessary. Everything's an invitation, not an obligation. So let's get started in puppy pose, a three-quarter dog. Some people call it three-quarter dog. So it's like a less weight-bearing down dog. So take your knees back a few inches, and then on an exhale, press back. So you want your hips over your knees. Hands are shoulder width apart. Index fingers point straight ahead, and put some space between your fingers. Head is off of the mat here. And inhale, get really long from hips to armpits, and exhale, soften your chest just a little bit towards the mat. And press your hands down so your forearms lift up, your biceps, your upper arms lift up, and turn your biceps toward your ears so you feel your shoulders go away from your ears just that little bit. And then once again, press your hands down and forward. Feel your torso get that little bit longer. Belly button to spine, ribs in. And then TP the fingers on your right hand and thread your left arm underneath. Bring that left shoulder to the mat. And you can bend your right elbow and take your right elbow to the sky. So getting a twist. Notice what's happening with your left hip. Is it dipping down? If it is, press into your left knee to keep your hips more level. And take a big inhale, create that space in your torso, and exhale, open up a little bit more towards the side wall. Inhale, come back through center, pause in the middle, and when you're ready, TP the fingers on the left hand, thread your right arm underneath, right shoulder comes to the mat. And this time you can take your left elbow up to the sky, just that little bit as you peek under your armpit. Breathing.
Notice what's happening with your right hip this time. If it's dipping down, press into your right knee to lift it up just that little bit to create level hips. And then inhale, come back through center, pause, and pull yourself up to tabletop. So walk your knees in a little bit. So this time, hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. Tuck your toes under. And then belly button to spine. So notice your belly button wants to fall and have that arch in the back. So being belly button to spine, and then that flat back at the bottom of your spine, bring it back to create that tabletop, that flat back. Isometrically, without moving them, draw your hands towards the midline. Feel the muscles in your arms really turn on. And then when you're ready, arch your back, look up, sit bones to the sky, and then exhale to round. Look to your belly, sit bones towards your heels. And just undulate through cat and cow, warming up the spine, moving slowly, using the whole breath to come into cat, the whole breath to come into cow. Come on. There we go. And if you want to get into the side bodies a little bit, you could take your right shoulder back towards your right hip towards your right shoulder, taking a little C in the right side body, feeling a big stretch in the left side body, and then you can switch sides. So getting into the side body, or undulate in any way that feels good to you. And then after your next round, come back to that flat back, that tabletop position, and then stretch your right leg back. Ball of the foot on the floor, getting a hip extension here. So stretching out the hip flexors, and reach back through the right heel as you reach through the crown of your head. Notice if your chin is falling down. If it is, bring your chin back towards your chest just that little bit. Don't want to have your chin touching your chest, but just have it back so that you get big extension through your neck. And then exhale the right knee down, switch sides. So this time the left foot goes back and back of you, ball of the foot on the floor, reaching out the heel as you reach out the crown of the head. And notice if your knee is locking out, keep a small micro bend in your left knee, and then my belly wants to fall, so like we were doing a minute ago, belly button to spine, sacrum back. Exhale to lower it down. And then take your right hand in back of your head. On an inhale, open your elbow up to the sky, and exhale, bring it to your left elbow. Inhale it up. On your breath, exhale it down. We'll do 5. I try and do, after your 5th one, lower the right one down and then move to your left. I try and do a Larry class for you, but I'm sorry you don't get Larry music. Pearl Jam is his thing. And after your 5 on that side, lower your left hand down, come back to a tabletop, step back to plank, and notice, are your shoulders way in front of or way in back of your wrists? If they are, scoot your feet forward. And then keeping your hands and your feet exactly where they are, lift your hips, press back to downward dog. Now keep your knees bent a little bit here in the first downward dog. We haven't really warmed up the back of the legs yet. We haven't warmed up the back line. Peek at your hands. Notice that your index fingers still point straight ahead. And then press your hands down and forward. Feel your bum come up even higher towards the sky. Take a big inhale, get long from hips to armpits, and exhale, feel your chest come a little bit more towards your toes. Pedal through the heels, so bend the left knee, reach down through the right heel. Bend the right knee, reach down through the left heel. Starting to warm up the back of the legs. And then come back to a neutral position. And then inhale, drive forward to plank, and exhale, press back to downward dog. So now we're starting to warm up the shoulders. We're starting to warm up the hip flexors. Coming forward to plank, keeping your shoulder blades engaged so they don't come out of their sockets. If you come out of your sockets, you have to put them back in, and they're just hanging there. Those rotator cuffs can feel a little icky. So keep them engaged as you come forward and press back. One more, and we'll meet back in downward dog. Lift the left leg straight up and back, pause, and then as you exhale, bring the knee forward to your left elbow. Inhale back to three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale back to three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Bring it back, and then lower it down to meet the left. And then inhale the left leg straight up and back. And as you exhale, left knee to right elbow, press it back, and you know where we're going. And after left knee to left elbow, back to three-legged dog, slowly lower it down to meet. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, bend your elbows, half push-up, chaturanga. Inhale, come forward for cobra or baby cobra. Now you can always go down to your knees in your half push-up, and in your cobra, you can stay as low as you want, come up as high as you want, but isometrically draw your hands towards the midline and back towards you. Feel that big opening in the chest. And then lower it down, make your way back to downward dog. You can come through tabletop. You can come, press up to chaturanga, press up to plank, whatever feels good to you. Inhale the right leg straight up and back, and pause here. You're going to open up the back of the left leg. So come to the tippy toes of your left foot. Raise the right inner upper thigh another half an inch. Keeping your right leg up, slowly lower your left heel to the ground. Oof. And then lower the right leg to meet the left. Feel that? Anybody feel that hamstring, or is it just me? Okay, inhale the left leg straight up and back. Tippy toes of the right foot. Raise the inner upper left thigh. Keeping all of that length in the left leg, slowly lower the right heel down. And then lower the left leg to meet the right. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, baby cobra, 3 breaths on your breaths. Shoulders go up, back, and down like you're cracking a walnut between your shoulder blades. And after your 3 breaths, make your way back to downward dog. Inhale the right leg straight up and back. Look forward, create space, and step it through to lunge. Lower the back knee slowly to the ground. You can pad the knee as necessary with a blanket, or you can double up your mat like this, whatever you need to do. Your feet and your knee are hips width apart. Inhale the arms up. So right knee directly over right ankle. Bring the belly button back, the ribs back, chin back. Spread the fingertips. Maybe start to curl back. If you're curling back, chest comes up, before you go back, and then bend into that front knee just a little bit more. Inhale, come back up through center. Take your left hand across your body, hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh, just above the knee. Hands can come to prayer. And really press your hands together, and you can actually use your elbow to open up a little bit more to the side wall. Inhale to create the length, create space, and exhale, open up a little bit more. If you want to fire it up, you can raise the back knee up off of the ground. And then lower the knee down if it's up. Come back through center. Take a breath. Exhale the hands down to frame the front foot. Step it back to downward dog. Let me know if the temperature gets too hot. Sometimes the thermostat automatically goes up to 85 for some reason on its own. Let me know if the music is too loud. Inhale the left leg straight up and back, step it through to lunge. Really bring your knee to your chest. Slowly, softly step it through. Lower the back knee down. Inhale it up. You can stop in the middle, plug the shoulders in, keep the shoulders safe. Bring the arms overhead. And notice, are you dipping into the front knee so that the right hip is extended? Take the right sit bone back, just that little bit, so there's a little bit of a crease in that right hip. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, maybe start to curl back. But keep that right sit bone moving back, and notice that your left hip wants to hike up. Bring it down a little bit and try and bring the right hip up a little bit. Inhale, come back up through center. This time take the right arm across the body, hook the right elbow alongside the thigh, just above the knee, hands in prayer. Inhale, get really long in the torso, and exhale, open up even more towards the side wall. If you want more fire, you can bring the right knee up. Breathing. One more breath. Exhale the right knee down if it's up. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale the hands down. Step back to downward dog. Notice any difference in your body. Notice the difference a little bit of practice makes. Keep pressing the hands down and forward, bringing the bum up high to the sky. From your heart, press your hands down and forward, and then maybe extend from the hips, straighten the legs, lower the heels a little bit more towards the ground. You can keep them bent if that feels better for you though. Inhale, come forward through plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, baby cobra. Shoulders up, back, and down. Really opening the chest up, engaging the legs. This is a back bend, and back bends are 90% legs. We want the back bend to happen in the upper spine, not the lower spine. Then make your way back to downward dog. Inhale the right leg straight up and back. Look forward, step it through to lunge. Hands come to blocks or to the floor. I would recommend blocks to whatever height works for you so that you can get that flat spine. We don't want to be rounding here. We want the flat spine like we're in mountain pose. So whatever height works for you. Right knee is directly over right ankle. Left thigh is lifting up. It wants to fall down. Keep it lifting up. Notice that you're not on a balance beam so that your feet are hips width apart. And then when you're ready, inhale, get long, and come up. Virabhadrasana 1, crescent variation with the back heel up. So you want your right thigh to be as parallel to the ground as you can. Spread the fingertips, ribs in, belly button in, chin back, descend another half an inch into the front knee, and breathe. Exhale the hands down to the blocks. Turn them up to their highest height. And then as you press down through the right big toe ball mound, take the right thigh back to straighten the right leg. So you want your legs straight, but knees not locked out. And you want to try and achieve that flat back here, so you're hinging at the hip, not bending at the waist. Inhale, look forward, get really, really long in your spine, and then keeping all of that length, exhale, maybe you fold inside the right leg. Left hip comes forward and down to level the hips. Keep a small micro bend in both knees. And then inhale, look forward again. Create all of that length in the spine. And exhale, maybe you fold. Okay, we're gonna have options here. Find your edge, find your boundary. You can keep your left hand down and twist. Raise the right arm to the sky. You can move the block right inside your right foot, make the twist a little edgier, or you can take the left hand outside the right foot, go all the way to your edge and open up to the sky. Find where your edge. Beautiful, beautiful. Get long in the spine, exhale, twist into it a little bit more. And then exhale, inhale to unwind, bend into the front knee, plant the hands on the floor, step back to downward dog. How did that go? Did that make sense? Yeah? Okay, let's try the other side. Inhale the left leg straight up and back. Exhale, step it through to lunge. All the things. Come to blocks, whatever height. And isometrically draw the left foot back, the right foot forward. Draw the pelvis up, the belly button back, the ribs back, the chin back, and then on an inhale, slowly come up to Virabhadrasana 1, second side. Now notice my hip wants to fall down. Keep that inner upper thigh lifting up and back. And exhale, descend another half an inch, coming as close as you can get your left thigh parallel to the ground. It's hard, I know. Beautiful. Exhale, the hands down to the blocks. And then press down through the left big toe ball mound to take the left thigh back, straighten the left leg. Pyramid pose. Parsvakonasana. Excuse me. Inhale to look forward and exhale to fold. Breathing. If you want a little bit more in the calf, you can raise your left foot up off of the ground a little bit, get a little more in that calf stretch. Otherwise, just keep the ball of the foot on the floor. Inhale to look forward, exhale to fold. Okay, this time, once again, take your journey. You can keep your right hand down, take your left arm up to the sky, either keeping it right where it is or bringing it more towards your left foot or even outside your left foot for more of a twist. And a lot of a balance challenge. It's going to be a lot of a balance challenge. Inhale, get long, create the space in the torso. Exhale, lean back on that left shoulder, open up just a little bit more. And then inhale to unwind. Bend into the left knee, plant the hands, step back to downward dog. Work through 3 vinyasas on your breath. So working slowly, keeping those shoulders moving back. Beautiful cobras, nice. Keeping the elbows pointing straight to the sky in your chaturanga, so your elbows don't fall back. They're pointing straight up to the sky.
And after the third one, we'll meet back in downward dog. Beautiful chaturangas. Larry teaches y'all well. He's the master at chaturanga. Okay, meeting back in downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward, jump or step to the front of your mat, press down to rise up. Reach up, arms high to the sky, maybe look up. And then peek at your feet. Notice that your feet are hips width apart. Toes are pointing straight forward, so not out like this and not in, but straight forward like train tracks. And isometrically sweep your heels out, like I could push on them and you're pushing into my hands. Then draw your shins towards the midline, belly button back, ribs back. Spread your fingers, chin back. Maybe you start to curl back. But if you're curling back, it's like a string is attached to your chest and it's pulling you up before you go back. Keeping your thumbs in your peripheral vision, keeping your inner upper thighs back so your hips are not jutting forward. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale the hands down. Inhale them up. Exhale them down. When they come up, with your left hand, reach for your right wrist. Inhale, create all that space, and exhale, side bend to the left. So I'm reaching from my hip up, out through my right fingertips, and I'm pressing down from my hip through my right foot, feeling a big peel. And notice that my head might want to jet forward, so bring your head back so your ears are alongside your biceps. Inhale, get a little bit longer. Exhale, a little bit more into the side bend. Then inhale, come back through center. Pause, switch the hands. Inhale to create the space. Exhale to side bend. This time really pressing down from the hip through the left foot and up out of the hip through the left fingertips. Spread your fingers wide, keeping the ribs back and the chin back. Maybe take another deep breath to create the length and exhale, side bend a little bit more. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, the arms down. Now, you can interlace your hands behind your back, or you can take a strap, any width that feels good to you. Sometimes it feels better. Sometimes I get more of a shoulder stretch when I actually use the strap, when I have more space in my hands. But you use whatever feels good to you. So wherever you are, take a deep breath in, get really broad in the chest and in the upper back. Keeping all of that breath, start to rip your hands apart. And then maybe you can start to bring them away from your bum. But notice this might want to happen, but keep the thighs back, the ribs back as you're working those shoulders. Taking a deep breath in and a longer breath out. And then exhale. Release. Inhale the arms up. Bend the left elbow with your right hand. Reach up and over for the elbow. And as you draw the elbow up, you can ever so slightly press your elbow into your hand and your hand back into your elbow, and you'll feel more of an engagement here. So you're getting a stretch and a little bit of engagement. And once again, notice the chin wants to jut forward, so press your head back into your wrist or your forearm, keeping the inner upper thighs turning in and back. And then inhale them up and switch sides. Immediately my chin juts forward, so I have to remind myself to take my head back into my wrist or my forearm, drawing the elbow up, pressing the elbow into the hand, just that little bit. And inhale the arms up and exhale to fold. Hands come to the blocks or to the floor, whatever you need, so that you're not overly rounding in the upper back. You're gonna round a little bit, but try and get as much engagement and lengthen the spine as you can before you exhale to fold. So maybe the block is up here, maybe the block is a little bit lower, maybe as your legs open up a little bit more,
you'll ditch the block altogether. And then inhale, look forward. Draw your fingers on the block or the floor back towards your toes. Feel that help lengthen your spine, create all that space in your spine. And then exhale, as you exhale, keeping all that space, fold a little bit deeper. And you can do that on every breath, or you can just stay in the fold, whatever feels good to you. What's your edge? What's the boundary for you? But keep your hands connected to something. I know sometimes we do the floating arms, but I want you to feel the connection to the floor or the block. It'll really help you extend that spine. Take the right hand outside the left shin or ankle. Left hand can come to your hip on your sacrum to feel that you're keeping your hips level, or extend the left arm up to the sky for the twist. Notice, are you balanced on your feet? Are you leaning a little bit forward, a little bit back? Find that even foundation. And then inhale to unwind, pause in the middle, take the left hand outside the left ankle or shin, right arm, your choice, your edge. You can come up to the sky or stay on the hip, stay on the sacrum, whatever feels good to you. One more breath. Inhale, come back through center. And notice your feet. Are your arches falling in? If they are, your knees are probably more in line with your big toe. So if they are, bring more attention to the blade edge of your foot, and you'll notice your knee comes more in line with your second toe. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to fold. Keeping your hands down, bend your knees, step the right leg back, come into that lunge, keeping the right hand down, open the left arm to the sky, coming into another twist. Now notice your right hip wants to dip down and under, so keep the right hip up and level with your left, and descend into the left knee a little bit more. Descending into the left knee is going to actually help keep the right thigh up. And then inhale to unwind, step forward, keep the knees bent, step the left leg back, reach, 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 come into that lunge, keeping the left arm down, the left thigh lifted up, bring the right arm up to the sky. This time descending into the right thigh, trying to keep the hips level, having the twist happen in the upper back, not the lower back. One more breath. Inhale to unwind, step forward, press down to rise up. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees, jump or step back to downward dog. Raise the right leg straight up and back, step it through to lunge, spin the back heel down, and spin the hands up into warrior three. So you want your right thigh to be as parallel to the ground as possible with the right knee over the right ankle. So if it's in front or it's in back, scoot your back leg to adjust. Keep your left thigh back. So reach to the left butt cheek back as you descend another ½ inch into the right knee. Ribs back, chin back, gaze over the right middle finger. Notice if you're reaching forward, maybe reach back through the left hand, and then press the right heel to the left. Feel the right knee open up. So it's in line with that second toe again. It wants to fall in, so take it back. One more breath. Interlace the hands behind your back. We'll get into those shoulders again. Exhale to fold inside the right leg, humble warrior. So inhale, get that length in the spine so we're not overly rounding. And then maybe you can start to bring the arms up overhead a little bit more. Look out through the left front corner of your mat, not back at your belly. Raising the arms up overhead a little bit more. And then exhale the hands down to frame the right foot, turn the back heel up, step back to downward dog. Raise the left leg straight up and back, step it through, lunge, second side, spin the back heel down, spin the hands up into warrior two. So your back toes are pointing in just a little bit. That'll help that rotation to get that right thigh back a little bit. Isometrically draw your feet towards the midline. Feel all the muscles really engage, and then exhale, soften a little bit more. It's not really a softening. This is a lot of work, I know. Beautiful. And just gaze out over that left finger. Take a deep breath in, and soften your gaze over the left middle finger. Now take your hands behind your back again. Interlace them the opposite way. So whatever thumb was on top is not on top now. And then exhale to fold. Arms come up overhead. Looking out towards the right corner of your mat, creating the length in your spine, and exhaling the arms maybe up a little bit more. Keeping a small micro bend in the right knee. Yes, nice adjustments. One more breath. Lower the hands down to frame the left foot, spin the back heel up, step back to downward dog, and lower the knees. Okay, take a little break. How was that? Yeah, okay. A little bit of labor on Labor Day weekend, yeah, right? Now you can sit up, if you want to stretch your feet out, tuck your toes under and sit back on your heels, but don't just dump down. Get long in the spine, and you'll feel yourself get a little bit lighter rather than just jumping into it. Now, you don't see me do that very often. I tend to do this, but that's because that's my edge. I've broken my left foot twice. So that's like that's an icky thing for me to do. But go ahead and get the stretch. While we're sitting here, since we're talking about boundary, and it's September, or going to be September. September is Ganesha's birthday. Ganesha is the elephant-headed guy. That's him right there on the camera. So Anisha will be doing a workshop of Ganesha stories. So what we'll do Ganesha Mudra, which represents the boundary. So bring your hands into Anjali Mudra with the elbows up high. So elbows are in line with your shoulders. Turn your fingers to face your elbows with your right hand in front, and as you draw your elbows apart, curl your fingers so they catch like this. And really keeping your elbows up, just try and rip your hands apart. So Ganesha, he sits in the threshold between his mother and his father, Shiva and Shakti, or Shiva and Parvati in that sense. And the goddess is Earth, so this is the material world down here. Shiva represents consciousness, which is up here. He is the boundary in between. Stories. Really rip them apart. And exhale to release. He is also the god of new beginnings, and he is the placer and remover of obstacles. So we put him on the camera because we place him to be the obstacle for you, to remove the obstacle of the camera so you don't run in and hit your head on the camera. So there's actually a reason that he's up there, okay? Yeah, and then inhale, hands one more time. We'll go the opposite direction. So this time, left hand comes in front, and exhale to pull them apart. And there's a whole birth story about how he's sitting in the threshold, and his father comes home. His father doesn't know that he exists. She made him without him knowing it, because she was lonely. She needed belonging, so she made her own son all by herself. And he comes home, and he doesn't know, who's this kid keeping me from my wife? And he cuts his head off, really harsh, I know. Parvati gets kind of pissed off because she just cut the head off of her kid, and he goes off into the forest and comes back with an elephant head. That's how he gets his elephant head. Okay, and release. Cool? You can that's a really, really, really abbreviated version of the story. It goes on for like an hour or so, however long you want it. Huh?
The executive summary.
Yeah, it's an abstract. What did we call them yeah, Cliff's Notes. It's Cliff's Notes version. Yeah. Okay, so let's come back to all fours. Find your stability. Step back to plank. Press back to downward dog. Raise the right leg straight up and back. Step it through to lunge. Walk your hands to the left and turn your toes to point to the side edges of your mat, and even turn them in just a little bit. Now, keeping your legs straight, but your knees not locked out. Inhale to look forward. Get that length in the spine. Create the space. Exhale to fold. And notice the weight in the foundation of your feet. Are your arches falling in? If so, bring more attention to the blade edge of your foot. And are you leaning forward? Are you leaning back? Maybe rock forward and back a little bit to find that just right Goldilocks spot in the middle. And then inhale one more time, create the space. Exhale to fold. Take your right hand to the middle, more the middle of the mat. Left hand can come to the hip, the sacrum again, or all the way up to the sky for the twist. Notice, is your right hip dipping up, down? If it is, take it up and back. And then inhale to unwind. Place the left hand more towards the midline and raise the right arm up to the sky. Notice, is the left hip dipping down and under? If so, bring it up and back as you twist open ever so slightly more. And then inhale to unwind. Walk your hands to the right. Turn your toes to point towards the front of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Pause for a moment. Get your breath. And then inhale the left leg straight up and back. Step it through to lunge. Walk your hands to the right. Feet turn to face the brick wall. And then everybody, bend your knees quite a bit, and then press back through the inner upper thighs to straighten the legs. Maybe you come a little bit more into the fold. Maybe you create more length. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to fold. This time, if you want to get more into the shoulders, you can interlace your hands behind your back, or you can take the hands back towards the heels, turning the hands around. Yeah, so the fingers point behind you and then drawing your hands forward to come deeper into the fold. Maybe the hands come more overhead. Maybe they come more towards the brick wall. Find your edge, your boundary. And then if your hands are intertwined, release them. Walk your hands to the left. Point your toes towards the front of the room. Step back to downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Okay, lower your knees. I'm going to just show you options on this one. We don't often break this down. We usually just pop into it, but since we're talking about boundaries and edges, I'll give you the options. We're going to go into Vashisthasana. So you start in downward dog. Now you let your heels fall to the right. You're going to bring the left arm up. If you want more support, bring your top foot in front. This will give you more support as you come up. Alternatively, you can just let your heels fall to the right, staying on the blade edge of your right foot, the inner edge of the left foot as you come up. Or you can stack the feet if you want, like that. You can grab the knee and open the knee up to the side, or you can bend the knee, straighten the leg, and bring the leg up overhead. So there's lots of different edges. Choose where you want to go, okay? Okay, let's come into down dog. Find your down dog. Let your heels fall to the right. Find your version. Take the left hand overhead, turn the right bicep forward so you feel the arm root more into the shoulder for stability and safety. If you want to bend the knee, feel free.
grabbing the knee or grabbing the big toe, opening up towards the sky. Beautiful, gorgeous, yes. And then if you're holding the knee or the leg, release it, come back to plank, press back to downward dog. Pedal through the heels, come back to your neutrality, and then let your heels fall to the left. Right leg goes wherever you choose, wherever your boundary, wherever your edge is. Right arm comes to the sky, and this time root the left, turn the left bicep more forward. Feel the shoulder, feel the arm engage in the shoulder, yes. You can bend the knee, take the knee up to the sky, grab the big toes. Beautiful back row, beautiful. And then inhale, come back through center to plank, press back to downward dog. Inhale the right leg straight up and back, step it through to pigeon. So right knee comes all the way to the right edge of the mat, left leg straight out and back of you, like a tail, like Hanuman's tail. Hanuman is the monkey god. But you want to bring the left leg more to the midline. It tends to want to splay out, so bring it more to the midline. You might even feel more weight on the outside of your kneecap. Isometrically draw the front knee forward, the back knee back. Feel that lift. You want that lift. Inhale, create the length in the spine. Exhale to fold. Come into the fold. Feeling that big stretch in the back of the right hip. But don't look down at your belly. We want to avoid that rounding in the upper back. Yeah, and if you have any knee problems, supine pigeon is fine, so you can lie on your back if that feels better. But look out, don't look back at your belly. Look at where your fingertips are, taking your chin back and reaching through the crown of the head. This is a pose we do a lot in this studio. It's not actually my fave. Anybody's favorite? No. Yeah, okay. Okay, inhale, come up, pause. Bend your left leg with your right hand, reach back for your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Take your left hand out to the side. I'm even all the way off of my mat. And then open up to the side. So turn the left bicep forward as you open up your chest to the right and draw the left knee towards the hip for the thigh stretch. And then watch the boing as you release. Plant the hands, press back to downward dog. Somebody should tell them we don't like pigeon. Second side, left leg through. This time the left knee comes all the way to the left. That just gives you more foundation. It doesn't really change the action of the pose, but it gives you more balance. So see, I can like be really strong here and not use my hands at all. All of the power is in my left knee drawing back, my right knee drawing forward. Inhale to get tall, and exhale, then come into the fold. And even here, drawing the back knee forward, the left knee back, creating length in the spine. Whew. And just letting that back hip open up. During COVID, this is when I would check my phone. I would be like, oh, it's time to check my phone. It's pigeon time. And that's why coming together here is so much better, is that we give each other support. I mean, it's so easy to cheat and quit when you're by yourself, right? You're only cheating yourself. I know, I get that. But we can support one another and help us move forward collectively. And then inhale to come forward, bend the right knee with the left hand, reach back, take the right hand off to the side. And you're using it like a kickstand, so you can lean back on that right hand, turning the bicep forward, feeling the arm root into the shoulder, and then drawing the heel towards the hip. Getting a big thigh stretch. Opening the chest up to the side wall. And then watch the boing as you release. Plant the hands, step back to downward dog, and lower your knees. Okay, come onto your tippy toes. Come into a squat. So you're in a squat. You can take, I'm gonna go to the left. So you can take yourself more to the right edge of your mat if you want. That'll just keep your, hands on the mat when we do this. So I'll show you, I guess I'll show you this way. So I'm all the way at the edge of my mat. Inhale to come up. Exhale, turn your hands so they're coming to chaturanga or down dog with your fingertips pointing towards the side edge of your mat. Take your knees out just that little bit to create space as you bend your elbows and you're bringing your, people are going different directions, you're bringing your thigh above your elbow, okay? Then this is where your edge, stay here if that's fine. If not, look forward, start to lean forward, and your legs come off of the ground. You come into twisted crow. You can put a blanket in front of your face if that's really scary. Yes. The key is to look forward and lean forward. You have to own it. And then you can go, like Natalie is, you can go into Kundalini 1, taking the bottom leg forward, the top leg back. Now she's coming into Dvipada. Now she's coming back into Twisted Crow. Any questions about that? We tried that last week with Larry. Want to try it again? Give it one more try on that side.
You're not resting your hip on your back.
No,
right?
no. This leg is on this, but this one is floating free. So you're just floating free. Floating free. That sounded weird. Like, float free, float free. Okay. Yeah. Yes, okay. Come up on your tippy toes. Yes. Bend the elbows. Look forward. Look forward. Yes. There you go. You got it. Yay. That's it. Yeah. Okay, let's try the second side. So you can move to the other side of your mat if you want. If you want to keep your hands on the mat. Inhale to create the length. Exhale, twist and bring your hands down. Widen the knees out to help get that thigh above the elbow. Look forward. Yes. And then they're coming into Kundalini 1 from there. And Natalie is coming into Dvipada. Dvi means two legs, and then she's coming back. This is not the first time she's done that, okay? And I'm just going, is it okay if I overshare? You know, she's like a gymnast, cheerleader, specialist, you know, so she's very talented, so. Yes, nice, Denise, good job. Okay, so let's grab our mats and hit the wall. It's a Larry class, we have to hit the wall. Plenty of space. Look forward. Yes. Look forward. That leg comes forward. Back. Top leg comes back. Okay. There you go. Yes. Yes. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to talk everybody through L pose, but if you want. Okay, I'm going to talk you into L pose. You can do anything that you want that's in your practice at your edge. We did some shoulder stuff today, so if you want to do forearm stand, you can. That's coming from a dolphin. You can, if you're doing that, you can bring your hands to clasp like we have been before. You can bring your hands outside the block. the most therapeutic for your shoulders is having the palms up. So I do it this way. So you come into dolphin, and then if you want, you can kick up into forearm stand, because we did some shoulders. Otherwise, do whatever you like. Otherwise, if you want to come into elbows, come into tabletop with your feet at the wall. Okay, so tabletop with feet at the wall. And then when you're ready, lift the hips, press down through the hands, take one foot up about hip height, then press down through your hands, take the other hip up, yes, and then straighten the legs, and you're in L pose. Nice. If you want, you can then, if you're in L pose, yeah, lift one leg up. We did that extension early in class. Then you can lift the other leg up. Yes. Beautiful L's. If you're in L pose, take your chest back towards the wall. Look at the wall you're looking at. Do you want some help getting into L? You'll pass? Okay. If you don't want to invert, if the days you're not invert, you can bring your bum to the wall and take your legs up the wall if you're at home or in the studio. And we got a hollow back going on over here, where she's bringing her bum to the wall. That's a big back bend. Beautiful. Scorpion in the back. Beautiful. Take another minute or so. And when you're ready, we'll meet on our backs when you're all inverted out. Hug your legs together towards the midline. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, hang time. Nice. Okay, we'll meet on our backs. Feet are bent. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Knees are above the ankles as best as you can get. You can take your fingers and reach for your heels. That's a good indicator. Everybody's arm length is a little bit different. Bring your sacrum to the floor, so you're not in a back bend. Sacrum, that flat bone at the base of your spine, comes to the floor. Belly button in. Even though we're going into back bend, keep your belly button in and your sacrum neutral. You can bend your elbows, point your fingers towards the sky so your palms face towards one another. Isometrically, without moving them, sweep your heels out. Press down through your feet, press down through your upper arms to lift your hips, come into bridge pose. Now don't overly jut your pelvis to the sky. Keep your inner upper thighs reaching in and down. So you can even bring a block in between your thighs if you like. Now press your feet down and forward. Feel the bridge grow. You'll come even more into a back bend. And then press down through your head, feel your neck muscles release. Hands can come to rest on the body. If you want more shoulder, again, like we've done up throughout class, you can interlace your hands beneath your bum, keeping your wrists on the floor, pressing the feet down and forward, pressing the head back into the floor, keeping the knees towards the midline. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Take the feet wide, let the knees knock. Now your knees do want to splay apart when we're doing wheel and bridge. So keeping that block on the upper thighs can help prevent that because you have to hug in to keep the block from falling. So maybe try that if you like. And then reset the feet. You can come into bridge again. You can always go to supported bridge, taking the block underneath your sacrum and letting the block support you, if that feels good to you. Otherwise, set yourself up for bridge. Press down through the feet, press down through the upper arms, lift the hips, come into bridge. If you want to go into wheel, take your hands as wide as the mat. Give yourself a lot of space. Fingers point back towards your feet. Bring your shoulders towards the midline. Feel your your arms engage in your shoulders, and then press down to rise up. Come up into wheel. Beautiful. If you're in wheel, pump your chest the direction you're looking. You can come up onto your tippy toes if you want to give yourself more space. Trying to straighten your arms in wheel. Take another deep breath in, and then exhale, slowly lower down. Take your feet wide. Let your knees fall to the right. Inhale them back up through center. Exhale, let the knees fall to the left. And just windshield wiper through slowly, using the entire breath to come up through center, the entire breath to exhale them down to the side. And then next time that you come back through center, pause and stay there. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Hook the right ankle on the left thigh right above the knee, and then lift the left foot off of the ground. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Supine pigeon. So you're drawing your left knee towards your face as you're pressing your right knee away from your face. I even use my hands. If you want more, you can let go of the thigh and bend the knee, left knee, and reach for the shin. And notice if you're falling to the right, try and bring yourself back to neutral. Flex the feet. Feel the engagement that brings you. And then exhale, slowly lower the left foot to the floor. Pause there. Then slide your left foot to the left, bringing your right thigh over your left thigh. Scoot your hips to the right just a little bit and exhale the left knees to the left. Keeping your right shoulder on the ground. If it's hard to achieve that, you can press your left elbow into the floor, and that'll help you bring your right shoulder more to the ground. And then press your thighs together, your shins together. One more breath. Inhale, come back up through center, unwind, reset. Bring the left knee towards the chest, hook the left ankle over the right thigh just above the knee. Right foot comes off of the ground. Your right knee is bent at a 90-degree angle, drawing the right knee towards the face, the left knee away from the face. And then if you want, you can reach for the shin, the right shin. And then exhale, slowly release the right foot to the floor. Take the left foot to the right, sliding the left thigh over the right thigh. Scooch the hips just an inch or so to the left. Let the knees fall to the right. Keeping the left shoulder down. This time, if you want that a little extra help, if you're at your edge and need a little extra help, press the right elbow into the bamboo, into the floor, and feel how that takes your left shoulder more to the ground. Pressing the legs together, the shins together, reaching the left hip more towards the foot of your mat. And then inhale, unwind, come back through center, hug your knees to your chest, give yourself a hug, make small circles in one direction, make small circles in another direction, and then rock yourself up to a seated position. Take a drink. one more twist with an option of an arm balance, if that's your thing. Find where your edge is. So we're in a circle, so we'll all just do the same side. I won't mirror. So bend your right leg so that your right foot comes right outside your left hip. Take your left leg over your right thigh, ball of the foot on the floor. If your ball of your foot does not come to the floor, straighten the right leg out. That's perfectly fine. It's the same action. It's just a little more accessibility. So we'll come here, take your left hand behind you, reach your right arm up, create all of that space, and exhale, twist. Right elbow comes to the thigh, right above the knee. And on every inhale, you can create more space, and exhale, twist a little bit deeper into it. You can look straight forward. If you have any neck issues, I would encourage you to keep looking straight forward. If you don't have any neck issues and you want to go to your edge, your boundary, maybe start to peek over the left shoulder. But we're twisting to the up knee, yes. Now you can stay here if you want to go into the arm balance. It's the arm balance that Natalie was showing you before. It's just a different way to get into it. You place your hands down in chaturanga. My arm is here. Raise your bum up. Bottom leg comes forward. Top leg goes up. It's harder for me when I'm demoing. I get all nervous. It's like, beautiful. Okay, so everybody unwind and we'll switch sides. This time, left leg comes outside the right hip, right leg comes up and over, ball of the foot on the floor. You can widen the bum flesh if it feels better. Take the right arm and back, inhale the left arm up, and exhale, go into the twist. Sometimes I like to just grab my knee and help, and I can pull into it a little bit more that way, but whatever feels good to you. Taking a deep breath in and exhale, twisting a little bit more. You can peek over your right shoulder if that feels good. If you want to go into the arm balance, go ahead, plant your hands in chaturanga, raise your bum up high, off of the sky, up to the sky. That's going to make it easier to come into it. Bend your leg, bend your arms. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You want to try? Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Yes. All right. Untwist. Take your legs out long. Lie back. Reach your arms overhead. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Maybe pointing one foot and flexing one the other foot and pointing one, moving back and forth. Hug your knees to your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. And come into the final pose, happy baby. So take your knees wider than your shoulders, and you can grab your knees or your shins. If you're grabbing for your blade edge of your foot and your bum is coming off of the floor, release the feet and grab the shins or the knees. So we don't want that over rounding in the lower back. We've been talking about achieving that flat back all class. You can straighten one leg, straighten the other leg, rock side to side, whatever feels good. And then wherever you are, release. And we'll come into Shavasana. Feel free to add props. You can take a blanket or your blocks beneath your knees. That will be good for your lower back. If you want to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, bring your feet together, let your knees be bent and wide. If you're doing that, take a block beneath your thighs. Alternatively, just lie back. And we'll finish with one small controlled breathing before we let it all go. So inhale slowly for 4 counts. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top and exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that one more time on your breath. And when you're finished, let go of any controlled breathing. Let your feet fall open towards the sides of your mat. Take your hands away from your body. You let your palms face up. Give yourself plenty of space. And just let yourself be supported. Let yourself be supported by the earth. Let your head be heavy. Feel every part of your body that's being supported by the earth. Feel your right heel, your right hip, your left heel, your left hip, your right hand, your right shoulder, your left hand, your left shoulder. Feel the back of your head supported by the earth. Let your eyes soften. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Take a deeper breath in and a long breath out through parted lips. And do that again. Deep breath in and long breath out. Start to reawaken the body, making small movements, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Maybe reach your arms overhead, take a big stretch. And when you're ready, roll onto your favorite side and pause for a moment in that very familiar fetal position, feeling the support, the comfort it brings. And when you're ready, press down through your hands to come up into any seated, comfortable position with your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, the lotus, your heart in front of your physical heart. Eyes closed if that feels appropriate. Thank you all for being here today to come together, to connect, to form our Kula, our yoga family, to support one another, and to bring your vulnerability to receive support from others. Sometimes it's difficult to allow yourself to be supported by others, that's what we're here for. We'll end practice with the sound of one Om. Feel free to participate or receive. Big breath in. Om. Softly bow your head to your heart, your head to each other's hearts. Namaste. Thank you. That was a beautiful Om. You all did, it was like so harmonious, beautiful Om, yay. Larry will be back, normal schedule all week long, so that's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with Larry. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great Labor Day, great rest of the weekend. Yeah, thank you, thanks.